Today it's moving day for these guys. Look how much they've grown. I'm sure yours have too. So I'm going to show you what our coop looks like, and I'd love to see a picture of your coop and how big your chicks are getting. And I'm going to show you a few tips on some things you can incorporate in your coop that can make things a little bit easier. So I'm going to take you along and show you how everything's going and how we do things. So today our chicks are actually 6 weeks old. It worked out perfectly because we actually have ducklings hatching today. We've had a few hatch out already. So I had to make room in the brooder for our ducklings, and we also have a hen that went broody, and she's hatching out a few eggs, and the first one of those chicks has hatched out today as well. So I needed my brooder ready to go. So these guys got moved out here. We are super happy to have more room. I am actually not going to let them just run around in the run for a few more weeks. They will just live inside this coop. It's plenty big enough for them to have room to move around more. They don't need a heat lamp anymore because they're 6 weeks old, so they will just be in there with their food and water. I might let them out to peck around when I have time to actually just sit out here and babysit them the entire time. But they're not quite big enough to just be out and about on their own, because there's actually, our dogs are right here close too. I don't want to tempt her too much. Hey girl. Yeah. She used to really love to eat chickens, and so we're over that now, but you know, baby chicks may be more than what she can possibly handle. So I'm just going to keep them in our coop. And also, when you're moving them to the big coop, I would suggest you do this whether you have bought brand new full-grown hens or whether you are doing this with your chicks that you are moving into their permanent home. If you keep them inside of the coop for a while, they will just really know that is their space. This is where they belong. This is where you need to lay eggs and sleep and all those things. So that is another good reason why you might want to. Is that right? Yeah. Another reason why you might want to just leave them locked inside of the coop for the first week or two once you've moved them out. Okay, so right behind me you can tell that we have a fence. Let me go over here closer. We just have chicken wire and T-post. And then here we have an actual, just a regular size gate. I like to make sure that my gate is big enough that a wheelbarrow can fit in and out of it. That makes everything much easier when it's time to clean up your coop, because believe me, we'll get disgusting really quick. So I like having a gate that's big enough, and if you can see here, we have netting all across the entire run. This will keep out like owls and hawks, and this will keep them in as well. That bird netting I bought, it's called Bird X, and you can buy it at Walmart or Lowe's. It's like $5 or $6 for a pretty big pack. I think maybe 2 packs of the netting did this entire run, which if you can see, it goes back a ways. And let's see, our coop has a floor, has a door. It's like basically a little house. This is what I prefer. Less predators can get in this way. My number one advice for anyone who's going to own chickens, whether you own 2 or whether you own 100, is that you lock them away at night. Most of the time your predators are going to come eat them at night, and anything could get through this chicken wire. She could. Raccoons, possums, snakes, any of those things, owls, any of that stuff, especially raccoons. They have those little fingers. You would be amazed what they could do to get in to a coop and into your area and through the fence and under the fence. So it's important. They will put themselves up at night. It's up to you to close the door every single night, lock them away, put them to bed, as I always say. Close the door, tell them good night, open the door in the morning, tell them good morning. But it is a routine that you have to do. It doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's snowing, if it's bad weather, if you're tired, if you don't get in till 11 o'clock at night, you still have to come out and close your chickens up. They need to be secured every single night. So before I actually go in and show you the inside of the coop, let me go ahead and also show you our nesting boxes are on the outside of the fence. So we started at the corner and we fenced it in around, but we left our nesting boxes outside of our fencing for a reason, and that's so I don't have to climb in there every single day. So here's our nesting boxes. Got a couple of hinges on it. Just comes out from the wall. We also have this. I would highly recommend that you have a latch that you can lock, because a raccoon could easily, boom, they would be in there. You would be surprised what a raccoon can do. And so you just open this up, and there they are. I'll turn it around so you can see our nest boxes. Okay, so there's that. And this is just a lot more convenient. You can just come out here, check your eggs off and on during the day, and you're not having to get all the way inside the coop. So that's very handy. And now I'm going to go inside and I'll show you what the inside of it looks like. One last thing that I forgot to mention is underneath here there is like a mesh netting, and that is our ventilation. You can see, Lily, oh, can you see Lily? Right here. This is our ventilation. It goes all the way around. It's still covered so that like snakes can't get in there with a mesh, and you really need ventilation on your coop. You can't just lock them up all night, especially when it's hot out. That would just be too much. It's gonna get very stinky in there too. Alright, so I want to take you in. Hey guys. Hey baby. Say hello. Alrighty, so here's what this looks like. We actually built it. I say we. Jesse built this on kind of like skids so we can pull it around. We have moved it. And inside of here, I just have a stick holding this shut because the dog keeps busting open. You want in there, don't you? Do you want in there, Lily? You can't go in. Look at me. You cannot go in the coop. Okay. This could get dramatic. You see this? I have to put the dog out and then I can open the door up. Lily. Hey. What? You can't. Okay. So I have the door open. You can see inside that we have roost bars. That's very important for your coop also. They will start to sleep on roost. This is really important for the health of your chicks' feet as they grow up. Their natural way to sleep is on roost, so you're going to need to go ahead and put some roost bars in. You can see back here is where our nesting boxes are. Up there is where the ventilation is. And I wanted to show you guys that, go on. I have plastic down. These are actually really big plastic garbage bags, and then I put my pine shavings on top of that so that I don't have to climb way back in there and rake everything out. I put these in here, and when it's time, I just pull on it, and it will pull all the yuck straight out of here, dump it into my wheelbarrow, and then I just put the garbage bags back in there and recover it back up with shavings. And it's easy peasy to clean up. You're not ever having to really get in there and rake and deal with all the yuck. So they're very hungry. So this is what they're looking like inside. This is what our chicks are looking like. They're about 6 weeks old. They got moved out because today we're actually hatching out ducklings and more chicks. So I had to make room in the brooder, and it worked out perfectly. They're 6 weeks old. It's really warm out. It's almost 90 degrees here. It's like 84 degrees today. So they are in here. They're loving all this extra space, and they'll just be fine living in here for the next week or two. I actually hang their water from a roost bar. I have it out so I could refill it. And this is it. So remember roost bar, remember ventilation. Of course, you're going to want your nest boxes, a door that you can close, every single night to lock them up. Oh, and if you lay down plastic or even some old vinyl flooring in here, then you can just pull it out all at once, and it will make your life much easier when it comes time to clean your coop. Alrighty, that's it, guys. What do you guys think? Are you happy to move? You look happy. Alright, guys. Okay, guys, one last thing that I forgot to mention was that I don't know if you can tell, but our coop is underneath a huge tree, and that shade is especially important no matter what kind of coop you use. It is very important that you provide them with plenty of shade. If you can see this huge tree, it's pretty big, a really big cedar tree. Our coop is right under it for a reason. One, it's giving them shade, which is super important for them. You can't just leave your chickens out in the sun. You'll have a roasted chicken before long. Chickens cannot regulate their body temperatures very well, so it's important that they have shade and plenty of cool water. So when you are planning on where you're going to put your coop, you should also consider putting it in the shadiest spot possible, or providing a cover over the top of it. Either way, so that they have plenty of shade. This also prevents a lot of predators from being able to swoop in, like hawks and owls, from being just able to swoop over and grab them up very quickly. Makes it a little harder for them also. So don't forget shade in your plans. So, hey guys, I also forgot to mention just really quick that, you know, just because this is what our coop looks like does not mean that's obviously the only way to do it. They have adorable little coops for just a couple of chicks at Tractor Supply and Rural King. We actually have a dog kennel with a dog house in it over in another area that 3 chickens are living in, and they love it just fine right there. And they actually roost on a pallet that has been laid over sideways. I mean, you can do it as big and fancy as you want to, or as small, like a little chicken tractor. We've done that too. We've done a little bit of it all. You know, the most important thing is shelter, that they're fully secure and safe from predators, that they have roost, food and water, especially shade, and you know, that they're just happy and well taken care of. That's the most important thing. And this is the first 15 chickens I ever bought. This is what they lived in. Now I have probably around 75 chickens. They all just live in our big barn. I do separate them out from time to time in some of these other smaller areas though still. So anyway, it's not really that there's a right or wrong way to do it, but there are some things that do make having a coop much easier to clean, much easier for your daily routine to go in and out of, to feed, to water, to gather your eggs. So there are some things that do make it easier though. So I guess that was my point. Hi everyone! We have 2 new baby goats. So I came up here to the barn. I've been worried about these 3 little babies, and it looks like they have found a new mom. Everyone is super happy. Okay guys, so they're all out. You can see them behind me here. Let's zoom in.